Let's go. I don't know what you're going through, but we stopped by to tell you that what's in front of you is bigger than what's behind you. Your destiny, your promise, your future. You might as well shout before you get it, because God sent me here to tell you that what he has for you is gonna be big. I believe that it's my season.
Hello, once again to our revolutionary community of leaders. I am Marcus Pierre, and I'm here with Antwan Butler, and we are back again with another episode of From Leadership to Legacy.
Glory to God. Yes, sir.
This is where we believe that everyone has the potential and the responsibility to lead and, Antwan, to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
And on today's show, we're going to discuss the foundation of leadership.
Yeah.
And Antwan, one thing I noticed is that we are not lacking leadership material and content, but that material is typically aimed at the mechanics of leadership, which is team building, goal setting, how to delegate, how to bring people together,
right.
Networking, things of that nature.
Right.
But it's not a lot of content at the foundation. And the foundation of leadership is character. Yes, character.
You got to talk about that.
So character comes from the Latin word meaning mark or distinctive quality. So it doesn't matter how talented, how many skills you've learned, how powerful you are, or what type of influence that you've gained. It's if the character is not there, it won't remain.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned about character, Antwan, is that character is like a security system for your life. So when you think of a home security system, what does it do? It alarms you from threats. It alarms you from possible danger. It alarms the person inside that something is trying to attack it. Something is trying to come against it.
Right.
And character is that security system for you as a leader, because everyone, no matter what area, no matter what place of giftings you're leading at, you have to realize you're facing threats from outside forces. You're facing things that can try to hinder your credibility, to hinder your level of influence, to hinder your resources. And what character does, character safeguards you from that.
I like that.
So,
like that.
And many times, we try to put like a definition to something. And I was thinking, okay, how could we define character? And what I came up with is character is a commitment to your convictions without compromise.
Oh my Lord. Without compromise.
Without compromise.
Okay.
That is what makes your character. It is a commitment to your convictions. So if you have pen and paper, I want you to write this down. Ethics, values, and principles. And these are things that create your belief system of how you do things. Because what character does, character determines what you do, how you do it,
right,
and why you do it.
I got to write that down. Say that again.
Character determines what you do,
yeah,
how you do it, and why you do it.
And why you do it.
Character is that internal compass. And if we think about anything, like John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls off of leadership. So when you look at society, you look at the economic system, you look at your home, what you're seeing either is the results of good character or the results of character that has flaws.
Okay.
So as a leader, we have the ability to change that.
Right.
We have the ability to change, improve, develop our character.
Right.
And one of the things that I believe that is so important as leaders is that you lead yourself. And the first thing that you have to ask yourself is, how am I being identified? Am I being identified as a person of good character or a person that has character defects? Because we know what engineers believe, that the taller the building, the deeper the foundation.
Right.
And it's the same thing with leadership. The most important thing for your leadership ability and effectiveness is developing and maintaining character.
Wow.
That's the most important thing.
I agree. It's the foundation.
It's the foundation, because without character, it doesn't matter how great or how influential you are. It's only a timeline before you fall.
Wow.
We know the stories of great leaders that have reached a place of notoriety and reached a place of being very influential, and then only to have it fall down to a breakdown in character.
Right. All that time spent.
All that time spent, all the things that you put in on the background and working and laboring to only allow it to fall because of a weakness in character. But I know our community of revolutionary leaders, that's not going to be what they say about us. They're not going to say
Yes, sir.
that people in from leadership to legacy, they're not going to say that we are weak in character.
Yes, sir.
Because one thing about it, character is what protects you
Mm.
and it promotes you.
Right.
Because I think John Wooden says that talent can take you to the top,
Right.
but character will keep you there.
Yeah.
That's what character is to a leader.
Mm.
Character not only promotes you, yes, when you have character, you will find yourself before great men. You will find yourself being promoted on the job. Why? Because you show up on time.
Right.
Because your work ethic speaks for itself.
Right.
Because you're a person of integrity. You're a person of accountability. You're a person of humility. So when you have character, don't be surprised that you're asked to go to the next level. But just know that your success doesn't ride on your talent.
Mm.
Let your success ride on your character.
Amen.
And one of the things that I want to really bring out to you guys is that character protects your life, your leadership, and your legacy.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. Character protects your life,
Your life,
your leadership,
your leadership,
and your legacy.
and your legacy. And you know we all about legacy.
We all about legacy.
Yes, sir.
We're not about short term. We don't want to get there quick and then all of a sudden we fall apart. Antwan, do you realize that a person cannot, yes, I know it's bold, but cannot fulfill their divine purpose without character?
Wow. I didn't think about that.
And the reason why, as I was thinking about that, is because your purpose is going to take you through a process.
Mm.
And character is what gives you the ability to be consistent regardless of the process,
Mm.
regardless of the pain, regardless of economic decline, regardless of people that possibly you thought was going to be there for you. Character gets you up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Character is what gets you,
Yes.
sit you down at the table and begin to read. Character is what makes you sit down and really take an actual evaluation of yourself. It is character because you know that if it's to be, you got to say it's up to me.
Yeah.
And it's your character.
Yeah.
So the foundation, we know team building is important. We know that management is important. We know that skills are important. But I'm here to tell you that if you lack character, you will not be effective. And here's this thing, you will not leave a positive legacy.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
a weakness in character, watch this, it negatively impacted your credibility
Mm.
and your influence. So, Antwan, I want to ask you a
Wow.
question. When we're talking about the foundation of leadership, which is character and influence, how do you think character impacts a person's overall influence?
Well, I think that's such a great question, and it's interesting. I'm sitting here listening to you, and I was, we've had a conversation about character and influence, and I was thinking about how character and influence go hand in hand, and I was doing some research and thinking about the power of influence and how influence is foundational to leadership. And I'll be honest with you, Pastor, I was doing my research, and the thing that kept coming up the most was character.
Wow.
Like, there is no really influence without character. So what I want to tell the people, what I want to tell the community today and to talk to them about for the next couple of minutes, I want to give them 7 power points, I think, that determines your level of influence when it comes to being a leader, when it comes to the foundations of leadership. So just as a backdrop, I want to talk about influence and the definition. So this is what I wrote down as the definition for influence, and I want y'all to write this down, right? So influence is the ability to persuade others in a positive direction for successful change. the ability to persuade others in a positive direction for positive change. Now, the positive change is very important for us to talk about and to write down, because I know people say influence is just the ability to get other people to do what you want them to do. That's traditionally the general definition of what we say influence is, and it's true. But if we start putting people under that definition and under that category, then we have to add people like Hitler, right? Hitler helped other people. He helped people. He changed people's mind, and he was able to control a nation to get his agenda promoted. But his agenda was an evil agenda, right? So I don't necessarily want to think of Hitler as a leader. Maybe influential, but not the type of leader that we talk about on this show, right?
No.
So we're definitely talking about the ability to be able to move people in a positive direction, to get their life changed. So we're going to work from that definition. Then I just want to give you 7 points. If you want to be a person of influence, you need to be influential if you want to be a leader. I want to give you 7 ways that I think you can do that. So I'm going to give these to you each in 30 seconds or less. I'm going to give you a PowerPoint, and I'm going to move on to the next one. All right, and you're going to have to go back and keep watching the video to get the information more in depth. So Marcus already talked about the first one. I tried to run from it being first, but character. Character is everything. So I'm not going to go into that, but I do want you to write this statement down. So true leadership always begins with the inner person. True leadership always begins with the inner person. So I'm not going to speak to that. Pastor's done a great job of that. All right. Number 2, if you want to be a person of influence, I think it's all about relationships. Yeah. So who you know. So I think most significantly is building relationships with the right people.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because building relationships with the right people is a skill and an art, but it also, I think, builds within us what I think is necessary for leadership, which is what we call interdependence. I'm thinking about the current predicament that we're in, the crisis, right? Mm-hmm. And some people may have the tendency to turn inward or to become selfish. Or we've heard the stories about people going to the grocery store, buying up all the toilet paper, buying up all the toothpaste, right? So crisis tends to make us, a little bit selfish or look out for self. But our success really has become dependent on us being interdependent. It simply means that I don't have everything that's necessary for my success. I'm dependent on somebody else. And that success comes within a healthy relationship. So a person of influence is a person who knows how to develop the right types of relationships, right? All right, then the third way is really knowledge. It's just what you know. So I want you all to write this down. I want you to write this down. New environments bring about questions to be answered. By seeking knowledge before demanding that you be in a leadership position, you have to have the chance to learn first and lead second. You have to have the chance to learn first and lead second. So you mentioned John Maxwell earlier. John Maxwell talks about the types of leaderships, and one of them that he says that's a position by default, but one you should grow from, is the positional leader. Simply means that you're a supervisor, you're a boss, you were hired into the position, but it wasn't necessarily you were respected into the position, right? So people may do what you ask, but it's because you're in a position, but not necessarily because of what you know or the relationship that you built. So if we want to grow our level of influence, we really do have to grow what we know. So we have to be a people and a community who has a desire to read, to study, and to really sacrifice time to get better. All right?
Sacrifice time.
You have to, because I know Netflix calls. HBO, Cinemax, those things call, and sometimes even domestic duties. But we have to have time to make sure that we're growing, right?
Wow.
Number 4 is intuition. And this is probably my favorite one. So intuition, I want you to write this down. Leaders see past the obvious into realms that others cannot. Leaders see past the obvious into realms that others cannot. In other words, when you are up, your back is up against the wall, when standard protocol and procedures don't meet the moment, right? When we don't know what to do, where you can't flip open the book, right? The manual doesn't tell you what to do at this time, right? Even your leader doesn't know what to do, right? then there is a gut instinct. There is an intuition that people of influence have that can chart the course of life.
Wow.
That can give us our next set of directions. That doesn't come from standard protocol, but it comes from a repeated experience of having been there before and saying, you know what, I'm not sure what we should be doing, but I feel like we should go in this direction. I feel like we should make this phone call. I feel like this is the next step that we take. And once a leader goes with their instinct and their gut and they're proven right, then the world will follow you, right? Then the world will follow you. So that intuition, and I teach test prep, and I tell my test prep students this all the time, Marcus. I tell them when you looked at the answers and none of them look right, to follow your gut. Why? Because you've studied. You've been here before. You may not presently remember the information, but your long-term memory does, and you got to trust that instinct, right?
Wow.
So number 5, I want to move on for the sake of time. Experience. Write this down, okay? The greater challenges you faced as a leader in the past, the more likely followers are to give you a chance in the present. I'm going to say that again. The greater challenges you faced as a leader in the past, people are willing to give you a chance in the present. Why? Because of your past success. I love the Bible. I love the Word of God. And one of my favorite stories is David. The people of Israel remember what David did to Goliath and were willing to follow him as king, right? So please, please lean on your experience because it tests and proves that you know what you're doing. All right? Then I think that falls into to the next point of your past success. I'll be honest with you. If you want to be a person of influence, people are looking at what you've done. You know, they want to know that you got a track record.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. That's why novices and people who are new, they get a second look, they get a glance or a shoulder. I'm not sure if I'm going to give them the nod, but people want to know that you had success in the past, right? So I want you to write this down. Every time I extend myself, took a risk, and succeeded, followers had another reason to trust my leadership ability and to listen to what I had to say. Right? I can't repeat that for the sake of time, so go back and read it.
Wow.
All right, then last but not least, it's simply ability, Pastor. You just got to have the wherewithal to get the job done. And listen, just talking about it,
Bless that man.
that ain't doing it.
No.
That's not following through, right? So I want you to write this down, okay? As we get ready to come to a close. Your ability is important. The bottom line for people who are led by your influence is what you are capable of. They want to know whether that person can take them across the finish line. People want to know that you have what it takes to take them through the process, right? So those are 7 points I think that lead into helping a person become a person of influence. I think they'll be beneficial and helpful to you. Pastor, any final thoughts as we close out with our community today?
Well, I just want to thank you all for watching and tuning in because we believe that, yes, you have the potential and the responsibility, but it does take some work ethic. It does take some skill. It does take some you actually doing the work. It's not enough you watching the videos. I'm hoping that you're taking notes. I'm hoping that you can actually apply these principles to your life because they will be life-changing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we want to once again from myself and Marcus, we want to thank you all so much for listening to us. We believe that you are a leader, and we believe in going from leadership to legacy. Thank you for watching another episode of From Leadership to Legacy, and we will see you back here again real soon. You all be blessed.